Hello everyone, this is Lean and today I'm back with a new card for you to inspire. I am going to use today the Bar None Slimline Die from Crafty Meraki, as well as this amazing stamp out of the Hug It Out by My Favorite Things. So I'm starting today by coloring in this image. I stamped it out using my Gina Design Amalgam ink onto Transotype Perfect coloring paper, one of the papers that I really like to do a bit more heavy blending and lots of layers of Copic markers. So as you can see, I am coloring with my Copic markers. I'm doing today a brown bear and then with some gray bunnies. And I just think this stamp set is so adorable. So I'm starting with the bear and I'm first laying down my darkest layer. I prefer just going with the darkest towards the lightest, and if needed just return and go over everything to get some more depth, to get a better blend, but I'm not one of those that start with the lightest color. But whatever works for you is just fine to do Copic coloring. As long as you are enjoying it and you get the results that you want, then you should just do whatever you're doing because that's working. So I'm also trying something newer for me. Normally I just keep my shadows as they are, but for the bunnies, as you can see, I'm trying to get some sort of a realistic shadow with the feet and the ears by just thinking about how the sun is shining and or the light source, and just trying to mimic sort of the ears and that one foot and getting that shadow going. So I just go with my darkest, then my second color. I think I even have 4 colors for this bear. Sometimes I change it up when I am adding heavier shadows, just because sometimes your shadow needs some more space and it takes away the other lighter areas, of course. But this bear is just a soft light brown bear. And I adore this color combination. This actually was one of my first brown combinations, and it has been a while since I used the E15 and E18 together, but I'm so glad that I did for this card. I'm also going to do a blue background, and I think that browns and blues really stand out when you combine them, and I just love it. So a really warm bear. And as you can see, some places I already added a 3rd layer. Just however much layers you need, you just add them. If you are working with certain papers, I need to warn you for bleeding. Some papers can really get saturated by the markers, and then your alcohol markers are tending to go outside the lines of your image. That's also why I am using perfect coloring paper when I'm trying to do a bit more of those shadows, because this paper really can handle a lot of layers. I don't think I have ever experienced bleeding with these papers, but then again, some people don't have issues with Nina. I have that when I'm trying to add so much layers as I'm doing today. So just be aware of that, and then you just go however you want to go. So I'm almost finishing up this bear. More layers than this will not help me anymore, and then I can start on the bunnies. So I'm going to do the same gray for both the bunnies. You can switch colors, you can do a brown and a gray, you can do even pastel colors. I have already thought about that as well, but I didn't do it so far. But you can really go all out with these 3 images. But I just thought keeping it simple today, having 2 major color combinations for you, and just adding the shadows. So here as well, I'm just going from darkest to lightest, and I just go back where I think I need more shadow, where I don't have that nice blend that I want to have, until I'm happy. And once I'm happy, I can use the matching dies, or if you don't have the dies, you can do some fussy cutting. This image is quite simple to fussy cut in my opinion. there aren't a lot of tiny spaces you need to go into, so if you don't have the dies, don't worry about it, just fussy cut it out, or you can also make just one layer cards. But for this die, you need some cutting from your images. So time to die cut that one, and then I will also die cut the big Bar None Slimline Die. This die is just amazing. I am going to only use this part of the die. I'm not going to use those bars that are cut out. I, however, don't throw them away because those are perfect to put on sentiments. They are just the perfect size for some thinner sentiments like these. And I just think it's a handy way to use it because I cannot cut out a sentiment straight. I always need dies for that. So I'm stamping out here this cute sentiment. Here is a hug, and I also cut out a panel that is slightly smaller than this big slimline panel so that I can fit it behind, and I am going to create a gradient of blues to fit behind this slimline panel. So for these blues I have taken Tumbled Glass, Broken China, Mermaid Lagoon, Faded Jeans, Chipped Sapphire, and also Black Soot to darken that one side a bit more. So while I am blending, I am also checking with my slimline panel to see whether it's sort of alright how I am blending, that all the colors will fit on it. However, I checked each time with the smallest side to the lighter colors. In the end, I will turn it around and change a bit my original idea, but I'm really glad that I did. But you have so many ways to put a nice panel behind this slimline die. I'm also thinking of just adding some spectacular pattern paper behind these bars, just to let it stand out. You can use a colored cardstock to cut out your Bar None Slimline die and combine it with a gradient with white bars or with that pattern paper. There are so many ways to use this slimline die, and I truly adore it. I think it's so genius. I think it's unique, and I just love the fact that it's not symmetrical. You can use it horizontally as well. I haven't so far, but some of the design team members from Crafty Meraki did that, and it was so stunning. So I definitely need to try it out using this amazing slimline die horizontally. But so far, liking the vertical way. And yeah, I'm just making sure that my blend is alright. Having added that darker blue and black on top of it, you really have a big gradient of blues. So I first thought of adding this panel behind my slimline panel this way, but then I turned it around, and the darker blue with my bear, I just thought that it was a bit more powerful, so that's why I changed it up, and that's just fine. So once I'm happy with this, I'm just going to add this amazing slimline panel on top of my ink blended panel. And today I used just some Paradise adhesive roller, just simple adhesive roller to help me. Sometimes there are papers that liquid glue is really showing up when you add it behind it, so just to avoid that, I added it with adhesive roller. Then of course a bit of thin foam squares, because I love this size of foam squares. There is dimension, but then again not that much. And then just adding this onto a slimline card base. And then to finish this card, I am adding some Pull Hearts droplets by Little Things from Lucy's cards. These are blue ones, and I just thought with the blue gradient that it was a perfect match to use, as well as just when I am making a hug card or love or friendship, I'm often using hearts. I just think it's an amazing addition. So I'm adding those just around the sentiment and close to the bear and the bunnies. And then once they are on there, I think this card is completely finished. So a really simple card, but just because I use this slimline die in combination with this gradient, I just think this is a really powerful card. but there are so many other ways to use this slimline die, as I said. So I hope that you will get crafty with the slimline die, and maybe that I could inspire you to just maybe create a wonderful gradient with your favorite colors or with just one color family and create something beautiful. Here are some more close-ups from this card and then the end result. I hope that you enjoyed this video. You can always give this one a thumbs up if you want to, and I will be back soon with some new inspiration. Have an amazing day. Bye!